Jimmy Parker grew up in a small dilapidated house on the edge of a forgotten town. The peeling paint and broken windows were just a surface representation of the deeper turmoil inside. Jimmy's parents, Frank and Linda, were lost souls, consumed by the vices of drugs and alcohol. The house was often filled with the acrid smell of cigarette smoke and the chaotic noise of drunken arguments. For Jimmy, the concept of a safe and loving home was a distant dream. From an early age, Jimmy learned to navigate the unpredictable moods of his parents. When Frank was in one of his drunken rages, Jimmy would hide in the closet, clutching his little sister Emily, trying to shield her from the worst of it. Linda, when sober, was a kind woman with a gentle touch, but those moments were rare. More often, she was a shadow of herself, lost in a haze of addiction. School was no escape for Jimmy. He was often teased for his worn clothes and unkempt appearance. Despite this, he found solace in books. The school library became his sanctuary, a place where he could lose himself in stories of heroes in far-off lands. He dreamed of a life beyond the walls of his home, but those dreams seemed impossible to grasp. As Jimmy entered his teenage years, the pressure of his home life became unbearable. Emily had been taken away by social services, leaving Jimmy alone with his parents. The loneliness gnawed at him, and he sought escape in the only way he knew how, by following in his parents' footsteps. He started with alcohol, finding that it dulled the pain and provided a temporary relief from his reality. Soon, alcohol was not enough, and he turned to drugs. The first time Jimmy tried heroin, he felt a sense of euphoria that he had never experienced before. It was as if all his problems melted away, but with each high came a crushing low, and he quickly found himself trapped in a cycle of addiction. School became a distant memory as he spent more and more time seeking out his next fix. His dreams of a better life faded, replaced by a desperate need to escape his pain. By the time he reached his mid-20s, Jimmy was a shadow of his former self. His body was gaunt, his eyes hollow, and his spirit broken. He had been in and out of rehab, but nothing seemed to stick. He was on the verge of giving up entirely when a chance encounter changed his life forever. One rainy night, Jimmy was wandering the streets, looking for a place to score, when he stumbled into a small church. The warmth and light inside were a stark contrast to the cold and darkness outside. He was greeted by a kind-eyed pastor named Father Michael, who offered him a cup of coffee and a place to sit. Father Michael didn't judge Jimmy. Instead, he listened as Jimmy poured out his heart, sharing the pain and despair that had consumed his life. For the first time, someone showed Jimmy genuine compassion and understanding. Father Michael spoke to him about faith and the possibility of redemption. Though Jimmy was skeptical, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. With Father Michael's support, Jimmy entered a faith-based rehab program. It was a long and difficult journey, filled with moments of doubt and temptation. But through it all, Jimmy held on to the belief that he could change. He began to find solace in prayer and the teachings of the Bible. Slowly, he started to rebuild his life, one day at a time. Chapter 4. A New Beginning. Clean and sober for the first time in years, Jimmy faced the daunting task of building a new life. He found a job at a local mechanic shop, where the steady work and the camaraderie of his co-workers provided a sense of stability. He also reconnected with Emily, who had grown into a strong and resilient young woman. Their bond, once fractured by their traumatic childhood, grew stronger with each passing day. Jimmy's newfound faith was his anchor. He became an active member of the church, volunteering his time to help others who were struggling with addiction. His story became a source of inspiration for many, proving that even the darkest pasts could be overcome with faith and determination. In time, Jimmy met Jenny, a kind and loving woman who shared his faith and values. They married and were blessed with two beautiful daughters, Lily and Grace. Jimmy was determined to give them the childhood he never had, one filled with love, safety, and stability. He poured his heart into being the best father he could be, knowing that he had been given a second chance at life. Chapter 5. Inspiring Others. Jimmy's journey from the depths of addiction to a life filled with purpose and love did not go unnoticed. He was invited to share his story at various churches and community centers where his words resonated with many. He spoke about the power of faith, the importance of forgiveness, and the possibility of redemption. His message was simple but profound. No matter how far you've fallen, there is always a way back. Jimmy's story became a beacon of hope for those trapped in cycles of addiction and despair. He founded a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping individuals and families affected by substance abuse. Through counseling, support groups, and outreach programs, Jimmy's organization provided the resources and support needed to break free from the chains of addiction. As his daughters grew, Jimmy made it a point to teach them the values of compassion, empathy, and resilience. He wanted them to understand the importance of helping others and making a positive impact on the world. Lily and Grace admired their father, not just for the man he had become, but for the journey he had undertaken to get there. Chapter 6. The Mission of Hope. Jimmy's mission extended beyond helping individuals overcome addiction. He believed that by addressing the root causes of addiction, such as poverty, trauma, and lack of education, the cycle of destruction could be broken. He worked tirelessly to advocate for policies that supported mental health services, affordable housing, and educational opportunities for all. His vision was to create a world where everyone had the chance to thrive, free from the burdens of addiction and violence. He spoke at conferences, met with lawmakers, and collaborated with other organizations to push for meaningful change. His passion and dedication were infectious, inspiring others to join the cause. In a world often marred by conflict and division, Jimmy's message of hope and redemption shone brightly. He believed that by addressing the root causes of suffering and providing support and compassion, humanity could move towards a future of peace and prosperity. His journey from a broken home to a life of purpose and impact served as a testament to the power of faith, resilience, and the unwavering belief that anyone could change. Chapter 7. A Legacy of Love. As the years passed, Jimmy's legacy grew. His daughters, inspired by their father's journey, pursued careers in social work and community activism. They carried forward his mission of hope, working to support and uplift those in need. Jimmy watched with pride as Lily and Grace made their mark on the world, knowing that the love and stability he had provided had given them the foundation to thrive. In his later years, Jimmy continued to speak, write, and advocate for change. He remained a guiding light for those seeking redemption and a better life. His story, one of overcoming unimaginable odds, resonated with people from all walks of life. He had turned his pain into a source of strength and his struggles into a beacon of hope. Surrounded by his loving family, Jimmy found peace in the knowledge that his life had made a difference. He had broken the cycle of addiction and abuse, not just for himself but for countless others. His journey was a testament to the transformative power of faith, love, and the unwavering belief that everyone, no matter their past, could find redemption and purpose. Jimmy Parker's story was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope could be found, and with that hope, the possibility of a better future for all.